Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the From Plan to Action Challenge. It's actually day 3, but since yesterday I was a little bit sick and also I had a literature test, I couldn't record and upload this video, but today we're going to solve 2 Python problems. Let's see what we have for today. Since the name of this question is a little bit hard for me, by the way, in Persian we call it Physagoras, but I don't know what we should say it in English, so I searched it on Google and let's hear it.
How do you say it? Pythagorean.
Pythagorean. Yeah, Pythagorean. The question is Pythagorean numbers. Write a program that receives 3 positive integers as input from the user. If it is possible to form a right-angled triangle with the given side length, print yes. Otherwise, print no. So the question is, what is a right-angled triangle? A right-angled triangle is a type of triangle that has exactly 190 degrees angle, like something like this. This triangle is a right-angled triangle. So the question will provide us 3 numbers, which is a length of 3 sides of a triangle. For input, it says 3 positive integers, such as A, B, C, are given to you on 3 separate lines. These 3 sides is equals or greater than 1 and equals or less than 150. The output is, if we can form a right-angled triangle with the 3 input numbers, print yes, otherwise print no. In mathematics, we have something called Pythagorean theorem, which is a fundamental principle relates to right-angled triangles. It simply says that in any right-angled triangle, the square of the longest side is equals to the sum of the squares of the other 2 sides. So if we have a right-angled triangle like this, let's name the sides A, B, and C. So this is the longest side, and the square of this side equals to plus square. So this is the Pythagorean theorem. In our code, first we need to find the longest side, and then we use Pythagorean theorem. And if this condition for our sides is true, and that is a right-angled triangle, and we have to print yes, and that's our answer. Let's check the Pythagorean theorem in the sample inputs. The sample input number the sample input number 1 is 5, 4, 3. The longest side is 5. Let me change the color to red. Yeah. The longest side is 5. So 5 square equals to 4 squares plus 3 square. And this is 16. This is 9. This is 25. And yeah, it's equals to 25. And we need to print yes. And yeah, let's test the sample input 2. We have 8, 7, 10. The longest side is 10. So 10 square equals 80 square plus 7 square equals to 49, 64, and 100. And basically this is not equals to 100, and that is no. Now let's write the code. I'm going to initialize 3 variable called A equals, I'm going to use input function to get input from the user. Input, B equals input, C equals input. The input function in Python capture whatever the user entered as a string. If we want to save it as integer, we have to convert it to integer. So we need to use int method and put input in these parentheses. Int. Now we initialize 3 variables called A, B, C, and get each of them from input. Now we have the length of the 3 sides of the triangle. To use Pythagorean theorem, we need to find out which one of these sides is the longest. So I'm going to use tuple unpacking. I'm going to say A, B, and C equals sorted, and as A, B, C in a tuple with the 3 elements, A, B, C. Now if I print them, A, B, and C, you're going to see that whatever you entered here is going to be sorted in an increasing order. I'm going to say 6, 5, 4 is going to be 4, 5, 6. What it does basically is we say 6, 5, and 4. So the A is 6, B is 5, and C is 4. What the sorted function here does is to sort the A, B, C in an increasing order. So here, A is the greatest one. But when we sort it, it's going to be something like this: 6, 5, 4. Now we know that whatever they enter, C is the greatest one. And now we can use Pythagorean theorem by saying C equals plus B. And if this is true, the triangle is a right angle. Now I'm going to write an if statement. If C square is equals to A square plus B square. If it is, print yes. If it's not, print no. Let's check it on our sample inputs. Sample input number 1, 5, 4, 3. Yes. And it's just print this. I'm going to delete this and then compile that again. 5, 4, 3. Yes. Sample input number 2, 8, 7, 10. I'm going to say 8, 7, 10. No. Yeah, this is our code. The code works perfectly. So it was the question. I'm going to send our files to this website to see if our code is correct or not. And yeah, our code works perfectly. So it was the question 1. Let's solve the question 2. And here's the second question. Write a Python program that takes an integer as input and returns the sum of its digits. Example, if the input integer is 1, 2, 3, the program should return 6, since 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equals to 6. If the input integer is 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9, the program should return 38. Assume the input integer is non-negative. So, here's the question. The input is 1, 2, 3. We have to return the sum of its digits. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6. And let's try another example. Something like, let's say 6, 7, 5 equals to 6 plus 7 plus 5 equals to, this is 11, and plus 7 equals 18. And it should return 18. And this is the very easy Python question. Let's solve it. We just need to initialize a variable called number. And I'm going to say input. I'm not going to use int method because we need to iterate through them by a for loop. So I'm going to say for x in number. Before that, I'm going to initialize another variable called sum. And we're going to say sum plus equals to x. This code is not correct because x is a string, not an integer. So we have to convert it to integer. I'm going to say int x. And after this for loop, we're going to print the sum. Let's run this. We're going to say 1, 2, 3 is 6. I'm going to say 5, 6, 7 is 18. Good. And yeah, it was the second question and it was the video for today. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys tomorrow.